Israel is probably the most controversial country, although its population and area are relatively small. It is home to most of human history and is one of the most powerful and fastest growing countries. How to live in this country? What are the customs and traditions of Jews? What should you avoid when visiting here? Israel is a country in Western Asia surrounded by the Middle Sea, Lebanon, Syria, Palestine, Jordan, Egypt. In addition, Israel is surrounded by two regions, the Palestinian National Authority, the Gaza and Western Bank lines, with a population of 7.5 million, and is the only Jewish state in the world. Israel's new shekel is the currency of the State of Israel and also is a legal means of payment in Palestinian territories on the Western Bank and Gaza lines. The city of Tel Aviv is recognized by the United Nations and other countries as the capital of Israel, although the Israeli government is now in Jerusalem. Israel does not consider this city as its capital. Israel is one of the youngest sovereign countries in the world, declared its independence in 1948. After the Arab War of Israel in the same year, Israel is the only Jewish country in the world and is one of the most successful countries for several reasons. After the Babylonians conquered the Kingdom of Judah, some Jews were deported to slavery. Jews are a minority in the country they live in, and this gives them a boost to stand out. Despite its small population, it has one of the strongest soldiers in the world, surpassing the country with more residents such as Canada, Spain, Vietnam, Thailand, Mexico or Argentina. The army is among the 20 most powerful soldiers in the world. The State of Israel is believed to have between 80 and 410 nuclear explosives and intercontinental and medium-sized ballistic missiles. They also stand out in the design and manufacture of drones. If you go to Israel while you walk through the street of Jerusalem or the beach Telephone Afif, and you see people with guns, do not panic, because it is compulsory and Israelis do daily activities while carrying weapons and wearing military clothes. Israel is one of the most technologically advanced countries with more than 4,000 companies in the technology sector. 60 of the world's 500 largest technology companies are in Israel. Yes, it only ranks behind the United States and China. Israeli workers and companies have contributed to the manufacture of Apple hardware and products from Google, Intel and Microsoft. Israel is the second country with the most students studying, just behind Canada. The college serves as a teaching and research center, educating students to have initiatives to conduct trials and entrepreneurial skills. When visiting Israel, don't talk about politics because of the history of Israel and the Jews and their continued conflicts. It is a complicated subject and can lead to misunderstandings. You are also advised to know about halal foods that are allowed in Jewish traditions. Animals that have split nails and do not drag themselves through the sand are halal. Camel and pig rabbits should not be eaten. So does the products that come from them. But there are other rules, such as Jews should only eat halal food made by Jews. Meat and milk should not be mixed, or any kitchen equipment should be used to cook certain foods. Do not touch the opposite Orthodox Jewish sex, because the law of Orthodox Judaism prohibits contact with the opposite sex except the husband of the wife, relatives or children. Something very important is not to go explore nature in Israel, as it is a country in conflict and there may be mines. In addition, dress politely without looking excessive, because many places are considered sacred. On the other hand, it is advisable not to bring books, religions or books written in Arabic that can make you suspicious. If you go to a restaurant in Israel, leave a tip, because the waiters rely more on their lives from tip than their salary. If you are satisfied with the service, leave 15% or more of the food price, and if you are not satisfied, at least give 10%. Jerusalem is considered a holy city by the three major religions of the world, namely Christianity, Islam and Judaism. If you are going to Israel, keep in mind that the rules of etiquette will vary, depending on who you interact with. Most of the population behaves Western, but there are also Muslims. Do not use left hand, because left hand is not sacred to Israelis and is only used for personal hygiene. In Jerusalem there is a Jewish cemetery on the Olive Hill. The cemetery is one of the oldest used in the world and has more than 150,000 tombs, some of which are over 1,000 years old. The Wailing Wall is the holiest place in Judaism because it is still part of the Second Temple, and the Jews also greatly respect the wall. The wall was even used as a place of prayer. Many Jews who prayed there included a scroll of paper containing prayer in the cracks of the wall rock. Israel Postal Service has a special section for letters to God. All letters coming to Jerusalem from all over the world addressed to God were opened and placed in the gap of the Western Wall. There is the most sacred Christian temple. the church or basilica, the sacred tomb or the resurrection church where the tomb where Jesus Christ was placed after the crucifixion will be found. For centuries, the Arab family had the privilege of opening and closing the main entrance of the basilica. Indeed, Sharon can be considered the most ideologically unique environment in Western Jerusalem today. It is home to the easily recognizable ultra-Orthodox Jewish Haredi of their black suit with matching hats, heavy beards and long curly turkey known as PS. The hat worn by Jewish men is known as kippah and is made of fabric or wool. This is a reminder that God is always above the user. The most beautiful woman in the world. This Israeli woman is named the most beautiful in the world. In addition to working as a model, it also became an Air Force soldier. Yael Shelby, a figure of Israeli woman named the most beautiful in the world. In 2020, Yael Shelby was named the world's most beautiful woman in TC Chandler. Besides being a model, of Yael Shelby is an Israeli artist. The world also recognizes the beauty of Yael Shelby. Before becoming the most beautiful woman in the world, the woman who has not yet been 20 years old was ranked second most beautiful woman in the world in 2019. In 2018 he was number 3. In addition to being active as a model, she also joined the Israeli Air Force for joining the military. Yael Shelby has been in the country's mandatory military service. From April 2020, he is known to join the Air Force Army in Israel. Both men and women should run conscripts. That is why beautiful women in Israel are no strangers to guns and guns. Israel's fertility is very high with 3 children per woman. Similarly, the Jewish ultra-Orthodox Haredi donates many children with 7 children per woman. The average salary in Israel is more than $3,000 per month. But the cost of living is also quite high. The belief that all the rich Jews are widespread, although it is more a myth that spreads as part of a propaganda of certain groups and countries. It is true that many rich people from Jewish families such as Larry Page and Sergey Brin, one of the founders of Google, or Mark Zuckerberg, founder of Facebook. But in the United States, Jews are only 4 or 5% richer than the average rich. Israelis consume about 23 million sufganiot during the Hanukkah religious festival or light festival. This is a round donut fried first and then filled with jam or cream covered with icing sugar. Israel is the world's largest museum by population, as it has 280 museums and continues to grow. In the city of Askelon, the largest antiquity dog burial was found with more than 1,300 dog skeletons. Most puppies of the Canaan race were buried between the 5th and 3rd centuries BC when a boy or girl reached what was considered the personal maturity of the Israelites, celebrating a bar mitzvah, a ceremony in which the child publicly reads the book. In Israel, all homes must have security rooms capable of withstand attacks with chemical and biological weapons. Jerusalem. You can also visit a Dead Sea salt lake located 435 meters below sea level. Despite its relatively small population, the country has presented 8 Nobel Prize winners in science and 1 in literature. In Israel there is no civil marriage, although the Israeli Interior Ministry recognizes civil marriages celebrated outside its borders. The only marriage recognized is religious marriage, regardless of the religion embraced. New Year in Israel, or Rosh Hashanah, is celebrated in September or October depending on the Hebrew month of Tishrei. The celebration commemorates the day when God created the world, and the celebration begins with a shofar blow, the horn of the ram. Across the country there are 180,000 McDonald's, of which only 50,000 are under halal supervision. So they closed on the Sabbath, and the world's first halal McDonald Jewish holiday opened in October 1995 in fashion. In Israel you will find an underwater restaurant, a Red Sea Star restaurant located 5 meters under Red Sea water. This place has a capacity for 105 visitors. Have you ever visited Israel? What do you like and don't like? Share your experience so that more people will know about Israel. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification button so that we don't miss our latest video.